This is Tom Kofer, and you are at HeavyMetalHog.com. I'd like to welcome everybody to this historic event, which is the first ever audio interview at HeavyMetalHog.com. And I can't think of a better way to get this rolling than to have one of my all-time favorite musicians from one of my all-time favorite bands. I have with me Marc Storace from Krokus. Welcome to America, Marc.
Hello. Hello, Tom. Congratulations with your first audio interview. It's a privilege to do this in the name of Krokus with you, and just shoot, man. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time. Of course, your band has a new record out, Hoodoo, which is going to be released here in the United States on the 25th of May. And I'd like to start things off by saying congratulations on that album. It's my current choice for Rock Album of the Year. And
Thank you.
What can you say? 28 years later, and the old gang is back together. In that time, does this seem like revisiting old times?
You mean the reunion?
Yeah.
Well, we're not actually, how can I say, living in the past, if that's what you mean. And that's why we really wanted to to write and record new songs in order to prove to ourselves and to our fans that we're still moving forward. We're still, the creative juices between us are flowing again, and we're creating new, fresh material. But of course, we wanted to link up to our favorite 4 albums. You know, the 4 albums which actually represent the core style of Krokus. You know, so that's going back to Metal Rendezvous, Hardware, One Vice at a Time, and Headhunter. And hadn't we quarreled and split up after Headhunter, that was like the biggest tour, the zenith of Krokus' career. Then I guess if that hadn't happened, then Hoodoo would have appeared in 1985, you know, at the latest. But as it happened, we, you know, Chris left the band, and Freddie was no longer with us, and so it was Fernando and Cokie Kohler and myself, and we had 2 American guys in the band after Headhunter, and then we did the Blitz album, which also did very well, but style-wise, when we look back, it was pretty much the wrong direction.
Okay. Well, I tell you, I kind of wanted to touch on that period, going back to '84 with the Blitz. You know, there was a bit of a change. I think that was instigated, you know, most likely by Arista, which was your record company at the time, and I mean, the Blitz really had some great songs on it. And it really, I think it followed up Headhunter very well, but I think that probably Arista, you know, wanted the production cut back a little bit. And so you really, you know, you said before in our email interview that that direction and that involvement with your record company kind of, you know, started things in the negative direction.
Well, you know, I mean, we were kind of blind to it, I must admit and be honest, that, I mean, we have been on the road since 1979. We arrived in the USA somewhere 1980, and then the accumulation of dates was increasing by leaps and bounds, so that towards the Headhunter period, 1983, we were out on the road up to 9 months a year, you know, six months a year, and then the longest tour was 9 months, and that's hard to how can I say? I mean, physically you have to deliver so much, and you're so drained that you're creatively on the rocks in a way. Plus, you're heavily influenced. You're more liable to become the chameleon. You know, we were always in the States then. Not that we didn't like it, but the influence from Europe, from being in Europe, started to water down, and we started to take on American influences. We were reading American magazines, you know, Cream, Hit Parader, and so on. Watching MTV, so obviously we wanted to be in there with everyone else, and you know, artists tend to follow trends and so on. So the record company came and said, guys, after the Headhunter album, they said, you know, you got to take the grit off the singer's voice, and you got to polish up your production, and this is the producer we'd like you to have, and then they put their money where their mouth was, in that they sank the biggest recording budget ever behind the Blitz, and we even did a couple of videos. For MTV, we recorded Our Love Will Never Die and Ballroom Blitz, and they went on heavy rotation. So actually things went good commercially with the Blitz, you know.
Yeah, and that album went gold here in the States.
Yeah, and I guess by now it should be platinum, but
yeah.
I don't know really. But as I said, Fernando and I also did not, the cohesion between us wasn't that solid, you know. There was always Chris in the past who was kind of the leader in the band, and when Chris left, I mean, Fernando tried to lead, but actually it was our manager who was leading him by the nose, you know, so to speak, and of course this made my feelings towards Fernando kind of a little sour and so on. But without delving into the negative past, let's just say we were blown in the wind, you know, in the four winds. Whereas Chris, even today, is still this kind of guy. In fact, when we started working together and buried the hatchet and started looking into the future again, Fern and I, in the same breath, said, you know, Chris, we'd like you to produce the album. You know, we gave him full responsibility, because he's the kind of guy who doesn't budge if he has a certain direction in his mind. So, and he's very good at milking the cows, if you like.
Yeah.
So Fern and I are the virtuosos, you know. Fern's a pretty good guitar player and comes up with a lot of ideas, and Fernando was good at getting the right type of riffs out of him, the right attitude, you know. And with me, it's the same thing. I'm a very versatile singer, 3 octaves. I can sing almost all kinds of styles and so on. But my favorite is, of course, hard rock. And Chris is good at, like, cutting out the frills. And as a matter of fact, I was pleased to have somebody, and so was Fernando, who was like the guide, you know, the lighthouse amongst all those ideas that we had.